Hey Tom, obviously, we'll walk through what happened with Gary Harris starting October 5th, and to this point right now.
Well, first off, as you know, I can't say a recruit name, but
right.
You know that part. But we had a miscommunication on October 6th and 5th as to what the last day of the contact period was, and my thought was that the last day of the contact period was Thursday, and had a school visit, so to speak, and which is just part of the contact period, which I thought had a day planned. We had a media challenge, which you missed, by the way, which you could have dominated in. We had that in the afternoon, but I had a full day of recruiting planned around it, and just went about business as usual. And about 15 minutes later, realized after talking to Tim that we'd made a mistake.
Tom, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, then we just, rather than get mad and we just handled it. I mean, handled it immediately, really with everybody that was involved, and starting with compliance. And you know Tim Buckley, and I know Tim Buckley, and I know myself, and the coaches that we have here. I mean, everybody is extremely serious about the rules, and certainly when you walk into a situation like this, you're already serious, but it just turns up even that much more into the way you pay attention to things, and it's an ongoing process. And we spent 45 minutes this morning talking about some of the things we can and cannot do at Hoosier Asteria and on official visits, and you're constantly learning new things. But that day was just a total miscommunication, and like I said, we handled it immediately, and that's really been the only distraction to it. I mean, revamping the day, being upset with myself for making a mistake, and then just trying to move forward right away.
Tom, people are going to ask, and they've asked me, and I was on Twitter last night saying mistakes happen. Do you understand, or the staff understand, people's reaction? Like, how the hell can this possibly happen? Because this is the set day, and it's been set for a long time, October 5th. So let me ask you, how does it possibly happen, whether it's Tim, you, whomever?
It just happened. I mean, it's there's no excuse, or let's try to rationalize it. It just happened. I mean, we got screwed up on what the last day of the contact period was, and it was a mistake. But it certainly wasn't. I mean, that's not how you break a rule. If you're looking to break a rule, trust me,
right.
You've been in this business a long time. If you're looking to circumvent something, you don't do it that way. But it happened, and so it's as direct as I can put it. Is it was an honest mistake. It was owned up to immediately. We handled it, and we moved right on. And everyone here handled it accordingly. I think we've got a track record of trying to do things the right way, and when mistakes happen, because it's not the first, and the longer you coach, there's going to be more. I mean, as long as you aren't doing them knowingly and willingly, and as long as you try to handle it immediately, there's really not a lot of other things you can do.
How did you guys figure out this was a violation? When did that happen? How did that come about?
Oh, about 15 minutes into it, just on the phone with Tim, and we realized it, and obviously, you know, we could sit there and split hairs, but it was just a matter of getting it done right now. We screwed up. Let's get it handled. Let's not let it sit there.
Tom, so people understand the recruiting period. The contact period was over on October 5th. You talked with a recruit on October 6th. Now, that became an evaluation period. Explain to people, if you would, the 4 evals, the 3 contacts, and that type of thing.
Well, with seniors, you get up to 3 contacts. You get up to 7 overalls, okay, and 3 of them can be contacts. And with the young ones, you get with the kids that aren't seniors, then they can turn into evaluations. But like if you see a player during the contact period and you contact them, and then you see them doing something, basketball, gym class, any type of athletic event, you have to count that as part of an evaluation. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes, especially with our recruiting, I'll do that. I'll use a contact and an evaluation the same day, and we keep direct records. The good thing about being here is from the beginning is my record keeping and my ability to keep track of things, just along with everybody else's, went up to the nth degree. You know, with, okay, this is the phone calls we made today. These are our contacts, our evaluations. I mean, at any given time, we can go into the computer and see that. But you get up to 3 contacts, you get up to 4 evaluations, the same as everybody else gets. I'm not sure what it is in the other sports. And you constantly have to check to make sure that another sport hasn't been to that school that week in the sense of football, or I made that call yesterday. Let's make sure that football hasn't been to this school, and so there's always things that you have to go through to make sure you're kind of in your checks and balances, and that was one where we didn't.
Tom, you understand where people will say, okay, given the fact what you just said, which is that, man, we do a great job, the compliance people here do a great job of keeping track of all this stuff. The perception is, like, how the hell can you miss the most important day or an important day? You understand that, correct?
Well, I just think it's a part of the contact period. I mean, there was a lot of every day in recruiting is important, and that one was just a miscommunicated on one day, and it's not an excuse. I mean, it's
right.
I don't think you're looking for me to make one, and I'm certainly not making one. I mean, it is what it is, but it was handled immediately, and we move on from there.
When you let the compliance department at Indiana University know, and you first, I don't know who the lady is now, but what was their reaction?
Oh, I think I think in a situation like that, I mean, they know that we're not trying to do anything that is circumventing. There's no, I thought this or I thought that, and it didn't really happen that way. I mean, it's immediate, and I think that's what you do. I mean, you don't try to cover it up. You don't try to blame it on another situation. You don't try to hide it till somebody finds it. I mean, that's our MO. I mean, you just handle it right away. And I think when you're in compliance and you're in the NCAA, I think you get used to that, and it's great to have a working relationship because there's so many sports that you deal with, and there's different rules for different sports. So I think compliance does a really good job, and I can't speak on behalf of the other schools, but I think our place does a really good job of trying to understand where we're coming from, understand the intent, and then work with you to solidify it. But I mean, it was handled immediately in the sense of how we reported it and did all of that. And then it just, most times what happens around the country, those things never come out. You're at a place like Indiana, and somebody wants to make a big deal of it, and knowing that we'd already handled it, and then you just gotta deal with it as it comes. It's part of the deal of being here.
Tom, was that in fact then was your third third contact with this recruit, right?
I can't talk about the recruiting specifically. I really can't, because then I'm going to be. Then we're going to have a whole other. I'll be in the paper tomorrow.
Right. You and I will be in front of a guy with a suit, or you will be. I ain't going.
I don't need that.
All right. So as you move forward now, any repercussions coming? What is your sense of where the NCAA will go with this?
Oh, I think it's already been handled. I think we'll lose a couple contact days or a couple evaluation days out of our 130. And so we just plan that accordingly. I mean, I know where we were at a year ago today on evaluations. I know where we were at 2 years ago today. I shouldn't say on evaluations, but on number of days used. You get 130 man days. So like yesterday, if we had 3 coaches out, that's 3 of the 130, and it really just becomes 3 of the 128.
Let me go back to something, Tom, just so people understand. How'd you find out it was a violation?
Oh, I think 2 coaches talking back here and realizing that we'd made a mistake. I mean, and I take responsibility, so I really don't want to go any further than that. But I just think, we made a mistake on the date, and then hey, we got to deal with this, and that's the way it was. So I got a great staff. I know that.